If I challenged you in a bet and said that if I won, you'd owe me some rice, would you accept the bet? How about if I said you'd have to put just 1 grain of rice on a chessboard and just double it each square? Would you accept that? You know, just 1 grain on the first square, 2 on the second, 4 on the third, and so on. Sounds good, right? Well, on the last square of the board, you'd have to put 18 quintillion grains of rice, or roughly 210 billion tons of rice. This ride is like that, but
Times 3
and
with roller coasters.
this is my park, and this is my ride. The design is quite simple, really, and relies on synchronized stations being mismatched from each other for each ride in the chain. It's basically like gears. Maybe that would have been a better metaphor to use in the beginning. This series of gear rides, built in Open Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, are what ensure that this ride here at the end takes a nearly infinite amount of time to complete. This ride wants to go around once. Played normally, that takes a long time already, but you'll soon see why that takes about until the heat death of the universe to complete in this park. Let's start with a small example containing 7 rides. This is the drivetrain. It goes around and around and around. Each time it enters the station, this second train gets to go up 1 station, thanks to both rides having synchronized departures that require a train in the adjacent station to be ready to depart before they can as well. When the drivetrain has completed 3 laps, the first gear train gets to advance its final time and triggers the first switchback. The switchback is necessary for physics reasons in the big park and simply moves the energy from the first gear to the second. The first switchback moves the second gear up 1 station and comes home to wait for the first gear. Drivetrain goes around a total of 9 times, and the second gear finally gets to advance our final gear up by 1 car, 27 laps of the drivetrain, and the target ride gets to advance one of its 31 cars. The final ride is held back by block sections, so another train must be at this station for any car to ever leave this one. This final ride is a recreation of the one that exists in the big park. Speaking of the big park, let's go back there now. This park has 1 drivetrain, 1 infinite ride, 241 gear rides, and 12 switchbacks, which don't figure into the equation. This gives us a total of 255 rides, which is the maximum that this game can support. The drivetrain in the big park is this guy, and he takes 102 minutes and 41 seconds to go around. This drivetrain, like the one in the example, needs to do that 3 times to move the first gear up enough to move the second gear. Multiply that by 3, and the second gear gets to move all the way up to the third gear after the big train has gone around 9 times. Keep extrapolating that out and multiply by 3 for every gear in the chain, and to move this final ride around 1 time, the drivetrain must go around 9.7 times 10 to the 114th power. That's this many times. And each one of those laps takes 6,161 seconds, so we multiply those together to get this, and then divide by 60 for the minutes, and then divide by 60 for the hours, and then divide by 24 for the days, and then by 365.25 for the years, and then we'll jump to finding out how many billions of years this will take to go around once, as long as everything keeps running properly. This ride will go around once every 1.9 times 10 to the 102nd
Billion.
years. Civilizations will rise and fall. Galaxies will be born and wrenched apart by the ages. You will still not have gotten laid, and this roller coaster will soldier on, marking the tick of the eons and witnessing the eyes of God. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for regularly scheduled Zoo Tycoon content soon. See you there.